Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check it off, because we make getting vaccinated easy. You've got this, because we've got you. To learn more, visit yougotthis.usaging.org.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Well, like I told you folks, it's October. Here we are. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So glad you could join us. I'm Doc Hamels, and you are watching Chautauqua Sunrise right here out of beautiful downtown Mayville, New York in Chautauqua County. If you're watching us, we're also on Spectrum 1301, and you can watch us throughout the week at 2 and 8, they tell me. I hope you're doing well, and it was a brisk morning. Justin, what was it out at your house, do you know?
No.
It was about 49, I think, when I left Ripley, and it was about 48 in the hills. So anyways, cool day today, but beautiful. It's fall weather for sure. Want to say good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown, New York. Thanks for having us Tuesdays, 1 p.m. It's always nice to be able to tell you folks what's going on throughout the county, and that's why we work with the radio station, so we can share the good stuff that we're talking about. And 99.9% of the time, whatever we talk about here in Mayville has something to do with the whole entire county. And we talk about things from all over the place, and that's my mission about the show here. I want to say I think it's afternoon now in the Ukraine. Natalia and friends, good afternoon, Natalia. Hope you're doing well and being safe. I know it keeps just running on over there, but we hope you're safe, and no matter what, it comes to a peaceful conclusion. Want to do a shout out, of course, to all our friends down south that are experiencing horrific conditions. I have good friends down in Asheville that I was really worried about, and I finally got a hold of them, and they're safe. But all the years I've been around, I've never seen destruction like that. Especially when you think where it is. It's not even on the coast. It's in the middle of the country, basically. Inward anyways, not on the ocean. And so I know the Red Cross is often collecting funds, and so think about it. Those are our neighbors, our friends. A lot of people from this area have moved down south, and everybody knows somebody somewhere down there. Our folks in Georgia, of course, and Florida. Florida just got decimated. I understand there's towns that are just gone, period. And again, we've got so many friends and relatives that have moved down there throughout the years, and we're always checking on each other. So please be safe out there, and if you can help out, do so, please. Okay, throughout the show, if you have a question, a comment, a birthday, an anniversary, your club or organization has an announcement, please give us a call at 716-753-5225. And just like last week, Justin quietly came over, handed me a piece of paper. Never saw because he doesn't like to be on camera, but he really is here. He sits right over there. And he'll give me your announcement because it'll be relayed through the telephone system here. How do you get a hold of us? 716-753-5225. If you don't call us during the week, we're not here during the week. If you do call during the week, just leave a message on the phone system, or you can email us at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com. Remember, we're only live till 10 o'clock, okay? So please call. It's free of charge. Your messages are free of charge. If you have a poster or something graphic, send it. We're happy to get it on there. Okay, so what else I got here? Grape season is coming to kind of an end soon. I mentioned this throughout the last few weeks because the grape farmers are harvesting. And it's not like you go out and milk cows because they go in the barn. Sometimes you got to worry about them crossing the road. But with grape farmers, they're going up and down their rows. They sometimes go across the road. They make turns and so forth. They're working 24/7. So you don't realize that the farmers are working at night. Why am I mentioning this? Because it's dark. And you may be surprised to see this happening, and you might come a little disoriented because of that. And I just caution you to be respectful of them and to be careful, because you can come up on folks really fast that are on tractors and you don't even realize it. So please, please, please be very careful this time of year. And it goes without saying, deer are getting into rut season, and I had to stop for 3 or 4 of them this morning on the way here. So the deer are on the move as well, especially with the cooler weather. So just a word to the wise, just be careful, okay? Also, hello to anybody that's watching us from Kenya, James and folks down there. Karen Cockram has formed our friendship down there. She's from Westfield, and we have folks that watch us from time to time. So good afternoon, I guess it is. We get into these time zones and I get a little confused, but I'm pretty sure it's afternoon by then. Okay, what else? Oh, we had a little ad at the very end of the introduction here about it's COVID and vaccine time. Barbara and I just got our flu/COVID shots. Your call. People say, I'm not going to get that thing. I don't, blah, 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 blah. It's your call. It's your decision. You're big people. You're adults. If you want to get it, get it. I got mine. And, a lot of times I say I get my shots because we hang around with people that are frail, people that have compromised immune systems. We have people that are young, that are susceptible to things. So if I protect myself, I'm protecting others. And so it's your call. And 99% of the time, if you have insurance, it's free of charge. So think about it. And as you saw in the beginning, and Jeff, can we pop up that phone number for the Office for Aging Services? We have New York Connects there and so forth. But it's the same phone number that we used in that ad. So if you have any questions about where to get a flu shot or a COVID shot, there it is, 716-753-4582. And that'll help you answer questions or find out where you can get those shots, okay? It's up to you. All right. Let's see, what else do I got going on here? I think I have one last thing, and I want to tell you the theme for this month. This month has a theme of prevention. You might say, all right. So I'm thinking of it in terms of 3 today. The first prevention is over on the shoulder. It's all backwards here because I'm on TV and I can never get my right from my left. There's a pink ribbon here, and that's what we put up every October to remind you that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And again, ladies and gentlemen, and I say gentlemen because we're all in this together, because men can get breast cancer as well. We'll put it off. It's just a little bump, blah, 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 blah. Get it checked out, for gosh sakes, because if you catch it now and do a sense of prevention, you're going to be better off in the long run, okay? So prevention, intervention. Secondly, This is Alzheimer's Month awareness. And today, our friends are up at Point Gratiot, and registration starts at 10 o'clock, and the walk starts at 11. Once again, prevention. If you have any concerns about any mental incapacity that you're having, or someone is showing some symptoms of Alzheimer's, get it checked out. They got some medicines now that can help slow up the process and learn all about Alzheimer's. And third, that's what our show's all about today, okay? We're going to be talking about Prevention Works, PACS, from Prevention Works. Now think about the term Prevention Works. This has kind of a double meaning. I kind of like it. I don't know if y'all have thought about this. There's Prevention Works. It means it does something good, or Prevention Works, which is a body of activities that you do for prevention, okay? And so we have two wonderful people that are going to be talking about PACS today, and we're going to learn all about it, and they're from Prevention Works, however you want to think about that. All right, I got some announcements, and we'll be right with you with our guest who can't wait to get on. All I got to do is make sure I remember which one's which. I only usually have one guest here. Now having two is doubly confusing for me. Slide 15, Jeff, let's go to it. October 19th, my Rotary Club, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, is having its Gold Rush, and it's live this year. It's going to be at Easton Hall, and tickets are $25 each, or $5 for $100, which comes out to $20. All right, so we are giving away prizes. There's a $1,000 top prize, cash, and that has been sponsored by the South Ripley Solar Project, once again. And then we have gift certificates and some cash giveaways. You can bring your own drinks and snacks and meals and just make an evening of it. And from what I understand, there is going to be some light refreshments and non-alcoholic drinks included with your ticket. So dessert and non-alcoholic drinks. That's going to be, once again, October 19th, starting at 5:30, open doors, and the drawing's at 7. And yours truly will be emceeing that drawing once again. We have lots of fun. If you have any questions, you can give Katie Riley, a Rotarian, call 716-785-1384. And I believe there's just a handful of tickets left because they went really fast this year. So we're excited. October 19th, Gold Rush. All right, let's move on. We're going to go to Jamestown this time, Jeff. Slide 16. I'm going to wait till he gets to it. There we go. He's listening. Sundance Film Festival winner. Now, I don't know how to say this. It's either Didi or Didi. D-I-D-I. Take your pick. To show at the Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts. Didi, October 9th at 7 p.m., won the U.S. Dramatic Audience Award and the Special Jury Award for Best Ensemble Cast of this year's Sundance Film Festival. In 2008, during the last month of the summer before high school begins, an impressionable 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy learns what his family can't teach him: how to skate, how to flirt, how to love your mom. Didi is rated R, and it's 93 minutes long. Upcoming movies at the Reg include the 1922 silent film classic, oh boy, here we go, Nosferatu. It's October 16th at 7 p.m. It's underscored by Radiohead's albums Kid A in Amnesia, Hunter Schafer in the horror film Cuckoo on October 23rd, a special engagement of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, October 25th. Justin, you ever see that? I still got to get to see that. Then there's Michael Keaton's return as the title character in Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. Don't say it a third time. Wednesday, October 30th at 7 p.m. Looks like fun. Tickets are $8 in person, the box office, and $10 online if you do that. Or give them a call at 716-484-7070. We got some great movies. Check it out. Don't tell me there's nothing to do. All right, by way of announcement, October is manufacturing month. You know, October is a lot of things for a lot of people. Did you know there are over 800 manufacturing establishments in Chautauqua County? I thought there was only 799. Those businesses are producing goods in range from food products to furniture to engines to ball bearings to healthcare products and a whole lot more. And those businesses represent the largest employee sector, almost 17% of the total county workforce. Those employees are divided almost evenly between men and women. Median earnings in local manufacturing jobs are $49,000. Manufacturing plants in Chautauqua County ship over $26.8 billion worth of products annually. Not bad. Now that you know some of the statistics, you may have a new outlook on manufacturing in our county. Most of us have driven through some of the manufacturing sectors of our communities or past large plants and wondered what they really do there. The answers are as varied as the types of businesses. Some involve very skilled labor, some require advanced technologies, some are very hands-on, some are loud, some are quiet. But they are all making things we often take for granted, like the chairs we sit on in our dining room table, or at our dining room table, or the juice we drink for breakfast. So, manufacturing is not just vital to our economy, it's vital to our way of life. Look around your home or office. Everything you touch, from your furniture to your food, to your clothes, to your phone, to your TV, was manufactured somewhere. All those items are a result of teams of employees working together to create the products we use every day. The Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce is proud to salute our local manufacturers this month and all year round. So think about that. You know, we always say, I don't want that kind of a job. $49,000 isn't chump change, and that's just getting started. So don't tell me there are no jobs in Chautauqua County. There are. You just got to be willing to get up and go to work. All right, this next one is sort of a sister or brother tour that was something I was involved with recently, and it's a cemetery tour. So let's get that slide up, Jeff. This is called Saints and Sinners Cemetery Tours. It's going to be held today and then October 12th and 13th. The 19th annual Saints and Sinners Walking Tours of Lakeview Cemetery are historically informative and are excellent ways to get in the spirit for All Hallows Eve. Tours will be held Saturday today and next week, Saturday the 12th and October 13th, Sunday. Tickets are already on sale for these events. Tickets often sell quickly, so be sure to book yours. You can purchase your tickets on their website by by going to the Fenton. You can't click from this page. By going to the Fenton History Center at online, or you can give them a call at 664-6256. You can also pay for tickets in person at the gift shop there. Now, you might say, how much? Walking tours. Pre-sale tickets are $15 for non-members of the Fenton, $10 for members, and children under 18 are $2. On the day of the event, tickets are $17 for non-members and $12 for members. Tickets are also limited for walking tours, so be sure to book them as soon as possible. Now, they've got all different times throughout the day, starting today at 2 o'clock, right straight through till, give me a second, till 3:45 today. And then you've got tickets starting at 6 o'clock next Saturday all the way through about 8 o'clock. Then you've got, then they have something else called the Mausoleum Walking Tour. And this is a guided behind-the-scenes tour of several of the elegant mausoleums and grave sites in the Lakeview Cemetery in Jamestown. It's almost as popular as the annual Saints and Sinners Tour. The Lakeview Cemetery, established in 1859, comes alive as costume actors tell spirited tales of the individuals and their families who are laid to rest in the grave sites and mausoleums to be featured. Guests are serve light refreshments directly after the tour, and tickets are only $20. And that is October 13th. And again, you have to call to get tickets, and they are going fast from what I can tell. For those of you that participated at the Westfield Cemetery Tour, I was Dr. Charles Welch, and yes, I'm an actor too. And we had a great time, and it's always fun to portray somebody from the past in the history. And these are not scary. These aren't to scare you. They're just to kind of, get you kind of a mood for Halloween a little bit, but in a good way. All right, let's go on. Slide 18, Dwyer events. The Dwyer Chautauquan Veterans for Christ are partnering to host an archery night October 17th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Valley Outdoors down in South Main Street in Cassadaga. Bring your own bow or free use of equipment on site. Right at the Four Corners, Jeff says. Lessons are available, and if you want to participate for veterans now, 640-9883. 640-9883. Then they have something called Pumpkin Town, which is going to be 10/13. This will be next week, starting at 1 p.m. It's going to be on Baker Street. Veteran and immediate families visit Chautauqua County's premier pumpkin park. Lots to see and do, not just for kids and so forth. Then you got Vets Camping and Halloween Party, October 25, over at the YMCA Camp Aniasa in DeWittville. And you can give them a call if you're interested in any of these events at 969-5542. Okay, 969-5542. I tell you about these events because these are specially designed for veterans in our county. And finally, this one's a scary one. Okay. Slide 19, paranormal investigators bring haunted objects live to Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts on October 11th. Woo-hoo. Two of the world's only full-time paranormal investigators, Dana and Greg Newkirk, will uncover the true stories behind the world's most haunted objects on October 11th at 7:30 p.m. on stage at the Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts. The Haunted Objects Live is an interactive presentation touring the nation this fall. During the presentation, the Newkirks will take the audience on a journey through history, folklore, and true life accounts of encounters with objects that seem to possess a life of their own. Included in Haunted Objects Live are untold truths about famous cursed objects like the crying boy painting, the Dybbuk box, I've seen that one on TV, rumored to imprison a demon, and the curse of the Catskills Chrome. The audience will have the opportunity to help the Newkirks create a new haunted artifact live and in person with just the power of the mind. Tickets are from anywhere from $30 to $46.50. There's a meet and greet package as well. If you're interested, 484-7070. Get into the Halloween spirit if that's what you like to do. Woo! Justin, you going? No. Okay. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, and we got our guests ready to come on with me.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
In school, I took 4 years of Latin, and in college I took another one, and today we're going to talk about a Latin word called Pax, which means peace, okay? So, from Pax, as part of the Prevention Works program, I want to introduce and welcome to the show Tracy Jespersen and Tiffany Prendergast. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I got your names right this time?
You did.
Okay, I unconsciously get mixed up because I go backwards some mornings. Well, welcome to the show. It's your first time here. Your boss lady, Melanie, has been here a number of times, and we've always had good chats. I don't have any particular order other than starting at the beginning. So, Prevention Works. Tracy, what is Prevention Works in a nutshell?
Well, I love how you started out earlier talking about the name.
Mm-hmm.
Our name is actually newer because we used to be Chautauqua Alcohol Substance Use Council, which was a mouthful and didn't really speak to everything that we do. So we got together and decided that we needed to update our name so that the community understood a little bit better about what we do. So we came up with Prevention Works. We are prevention-based. We are education-based. And as you talked about earlier, prevention can be a lot of different things, and we encompass a lot of those things.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
So our name speaks a little bit better to what we do. So with that said, we are education-based. We really look at prevention of harmful substances in our lives, prevention of, a lot of different things, but I'm thinking like, I'm thinking mostly we're centered around substances, but we do a lot of things with that.
You help
We
parents,
also do
parents with children's behavior, things
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
So we do parenting education. We go into the schools and do education around life skills such as assertiveness skills,
Oh, yeah. Anti-bullying. things like that, yeah.
anti-bullying. We do a lot of awareness presentations in the community. So one of my favorites is hidden in plain sight. And so parents and adults can walk through a scene that is a bedroom, and they look for paraphernalia and signs of hidden substances. And so it's an awareness and an opportunity then to take that information and talk to your own kids about.
And your kid says, I have no idea how they got there.
Right, right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to keep that communication open.
Right,
Yeah.
right, okay. So Tracy, how long have you been with Prevention Works or the agency?
I think it's been 8 years. I always have to think about how old my daughter was because she was a year when I started. I've been in prevention for a really long time. Previous to this agency, I worked for a nonprofit that was prevention education as well. So jumping into this was natural for me. And
Are you from this area?
I actually, that's a good question. So
Thank you. I try to come up with good questions.
How far back do you want me to go?
It's your life.
So I was born in Virginia.
Okay.
My parents are native to Jamestown, so we moved back. And that's where I spent most of my childhood. And then I moved to Frewsburg, graduated from there. And now I actually live in Pennsylvania, like right over the border.
Where?
In Lander, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I know where there. I played there once.
Okay.
In a big barn, that's all I remember.
Yeah, so.
Yep, I know where that is. Okay. And you want to do a shout out to your family at all?
Sure. I don't know if they're listening today. I have.
But they're going to watch the video later, so you got to do this, Mom.
Hi, guys.
So who do you have? Who do you have?
I have my husband, Chad, and I have two, why did I say two? 3 children.
They're going to say, which one did
I
you
know
forget,
why.
Mom?
I have 2 boys and a girl. So
What's their names?
They're Elliot, Oliver, and Grace.
I bet that's a mouthful when you try and get them all.
Yes,
Saying, get
and
over here, y'all.
Yep, and as I said earlier, I go through each of the name, throw the dog's name in there.
Oh, yeah. I introduced my son one time as the dog. The names are close. Anyways.
So I don't feel so bad.
Katie, good morning. How
Good morning.
are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. How long have you been with Prevention Works?
I have been with Prevention Works for 3 years now, so not as long as Tracy. And Prevention Works was my entree into the field of prevention. Prior to that, I was a 8th grade history teacher for 17 years in New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
So you went from the classroom to the classroom.
Yep, basically. I didn't really transfer much.
So you really had the skills to communicate with kids. And
Yes.
What grade? 8th grade?
8th grade, yep.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, it was my sweet spot. It was my sweet spot.
My sweet spot was more 5th, 6th grade.
Okay.
They would do anything for me. After that, it was like, Okay. Well, we'll have to talk history later. All right. So, and where are you from?
I live right now in Fredonia, but I've kind of lived all over the eastern half of the United States throughout my life.
Wowza.
Yeah.
So are you from Fredonia originally?
No, I am not. I was actually born in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama.
You are Southerners.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, welcome.
bringing it back.
Well, that's great. And anybody want to do a shout out to?
I'll say hello to my husband and to my parents and my niece Abby, who lives with us,
Okay.
and our dogs Leo and Evie.
Okay. I'm sure the dogs have tuned in.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to talk about something called PACS. I don't recall that being around for a long time. Has it been around for a while? Last couple of years, maybe? I would do the posters all the time for you guys.
Right.
So PACS meaning peace. How long? What is it?
So you're right, it means peace. We can expand on that. It's peace, productivity, health, and happiness. In our county, it's only been around the last, I want to say, now 5 years I think we're going on.
Okay.
Prior to that, it's been around for a couple decades. There's a rich history in it. The senior scientist of PACS created Paxis, is the institute that it came from. He has an awesome story about being a kid and kind of labeled incorrectly, as failure to thrive. And then one of his teachers treated him differently and as somebody who has potential, and some of the strategies that she used with him in the classroom is what kind of he took and created this PAX Good Behavior game.
So
which
he
is what we're
took
gonna talk about.
some less than positive experiences and turned them around into
Absolutely.
this program.
Yep.
So is this like a international program?
Yes, they're all over. They're all over
So
the
I'm
world.
guessing that your agency studied this and said, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Something like that, and you bought into it, got trained. I'm kind of familiar with
Yep.
the process sometimes for different programs. So why did you guys decide on PAX?
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, a bunch of us from our agency went to like a retreat. They had speakers, and Dennis Embry, who is the senior scientist, the creator, was there live speaking, and all of us sitting around the table are listening, and I will admit I got teary-eyed because I thought, wow, we really need this practice in our county. And so I turned to Melanie Wachowski, who's our director, and said, gosh, we need this. And she said, well, that's funny. We are waiting on to hear if we got the grant for it.
Oh, wow.
So once we heard that we got it, we were really excited, and I jumped into the position with one other person, and we kind of just
So this
started doing
is
it.
like a subset of Prevention Works, like you have your own team type
Yes,
thing?
yes. So Prevention Works encompasses a lot of different teams for different domains of things that we do. You mentioned the parenting, so they have the parenting team. We have the prevention ed team that goes into the schools and supports that social emotional learning. PAX is its own team, and we support teachers to roll out this practice called a PAX Good Behavior Game in their classrooms. So we are a support. We do everything from arranging the national training, where we have a national trainer come in, and then we support teachers after that. We do many different things, like we go in and model the strategies for them. We meet with them for coaching. We do observations in the classroom. So it's a team effort.
So this is, what do you call this? Well, it's like turnaround. I mean, you teach the teachers, and then they do the work.
Yep.
Okay.
Essentially, yes.
So being a teacher, Katie, this, again, is right up your alley, right? I
Yeah.
mean, so you can speak the lingo. You can get to their level. Is it
Yeah.
a little tricky for you?
I think it was a little bit at first, but I will tell you, it's such a blessing to sit in a classroom and see how things go. I have, much more of appreciation for teachers and what they have on their plates. And so the reason that, so I work really hard to create that relationship with the teachers first, so that they trust, and we're very clear about our role, which is a supportive role. So we're not there to tell them, stop everything you're doing and just do this. We're here to look at what's already working in their classroom and then see where these fit in, these strategies.
Okay. All right. So, Katie, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I'm a teacher now, and I'm busy. I got all the Regents exams. I got all the things I got to do and all the requirements that are in the syllabus and curriculum. Tell me, why would I want PAX in my classroom?
The beauty of PAX is that what it is going to do is ultimately create more instructional time for the teacher. Yeah, I know, right? But what it does is it teaches kids self-regulation strategies that they can use, and the teacher can integrate them into their daily teaching. So it's not like a separate curriculum. It's not some kind of separate program that the teacher has to take time out of the class in order to implement. It layers right over the teacher's everyday teaching. And so it's something that they can work in. And the beauty of PAX is there are strategies there that a lot of teachers already use. Prior to PAX, I used, for instance, one of our strategies is using sticks to draw names. And it's just something to do so you can avoid bias in the classroom. And it also prevents the kind of teacher frustration point of always having the same kids answer the question. But it helps for teachers to integrate and bring kids into the process while teaching them these necessary self-regulation skills that can benefit them in the future when it comes to how they live a productive, happy, healthy life.
You're talking about the one that's always answering the questions. I'm a Harry Potter fanatic.
Yeah.
And I see Hermione Granger's hand up all the time, going, ooh, 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 and everybody's going, shut up. Okay. So, you got some slides. How about we start with some of those, and that'll help generate some more questions and begin to clarify what we're talking about here. Because I'm starting to get the feel I understand what it is, but I want to have a little more clarity. So Jeff, let's bring up the first slide. Okay, so there we go. Educate, collaborate, and motivate. Okay, so speak to that. Tracy, why do you have those 3 words there?
So those are our pillars. Those are what we are built upon. So we educate in the classroom, out in the community. We collaborate with other agencies. That's super important. We're not the only ones that enter into the school system, and so we make sure that we are not reinventing or, duplicating services. So we work really closely with other agencies. We do a lot of referrals. So if we're in a classroom and we are speaking to teachers about struggles that they see their students are having, we have a pretty good relationship with other agencies and are able to make those referrals. And then motivate. We all need motivation in our life. We all have things that we know we'd like to do better at, and so the motivation part of it is also a collaborative effort.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so where are you located now? What schools?
So the very last slide that we have, if you want to pull it up, gives us some information about where we're at. We actually cover all of Chautauqua County, and the 2 circled locations here are Dunkirk and town of Ellicott, which is where our 2 offices are located. So the one is right in the heart of Dunkirk on Lakeshore Drive, and then we actually just are in the process of relocating to Falconer. We were in Jamestown, and so it looks like we'll be in by November into this new space in Falconer, and we're really excited about it.
Oh, and here's the schools. All right, so let's go through them. Go ahead.
So these schools are the current list that we are supporting PACs. There are other schools they're not all the ones that we're currently. These are ones that we have partnered with currently or in the past. Brockton is fully rolling out PACs this year in their school-wide. We have our other staff, Jennifer Potter, that is spearheading that and doing a great job. Falconer Elementary School, they have Fenner and Temple, and they're new to PACs this year. So we have our PACs coach, Jesse, supporting them this year. And then we do have other schools that are interested. A lot of times the barrier is funding. And so we'll talk about that a little bit too. But we're really excited to share the schools that have partnered with us. Dunkirk is hugely supportive in it and rolling that out. Clymer, Panama, Sherman we have partnered with them in the past. But even when we don't have maybe the staffing to cover all of those places, we can still be available to check in and see if they need anything. And
Okay, so let's do a little role playing now. You walk into my classroom and I've got 20 kids, and I'm going to say to you, I got a tough bunch this year, and how can you help me? So just be in general, what would you do?
I would say first and foremost that PACs is for everybody. So sometimes teachers will, have a student who's really struggling and they want to focus on that, and that's good, and we're there for that to help them through that. But as Katie had mentioned, it's something that it's setting that foundation for behavior. So if we PACS looks at behavior as a learned skill, just like we're teaching a kid to tie their shoes or to read. We practice patience. We have a system that we teach that. And when it comes to behavior can be very emotional. And so we help teachers understand that even if you're having that struggle, or even if you come to us and say, I got a good system down, PACS is for everybody. And so again, if we look at it as a foundation, we're setting the expectation. The beautiful thing about PACS is it's not just the adult saying, here are the rules, we need you to follow those. It takes their thoughts and feelings and needs and wants into that equation. So we co-create the guidelines and the expectations.
Okay. Katie mentioned where you pull sticks with kids' names on it so that you are calling on kids randomly. I think, having taught for 15 years in the classroom, I think it's easy not to do that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes as teachers, if they're willing to be monitored for those kinds of things, do you realize that when you do this, you do this? Oh, I didn't realize that I favored certain kids. Did you realize that when that kid's hand goes up, you immediately ask that kid instead of waiting for others? Am I on the right track here?
Yeah, absolutely.
And therefore, the kid that's really quiet, that knows the answer, that's shy, may never get his or her hand up. But by doing it randomly now, everybody's on their toes.
Right.
Well, and we create a low pressure environment, for instance, with sticks, because there are outs for the kids, because there are going to be situations where kids are called on and maybe you're asking a question about history and the kid doesn't know the answer. They can phone a friend. So it's not like
that's cool.
Yeah, it's not like it puts them in a situation where they have the potential to look foolish. It teaches that it's okay to ask for help, which is a hard skill. A lot of adults have problems asking for help. And so teaching kids to be able to do that kind of teaches them that it is okay to go to others.
Sounds like a lot of team building, too.
Absolutely. It's big on co-regulation too. So students keeping each other accountable. One of the first things that we do is we create what's called a classroom vision. And so basically it's the expectations in the classroom. And all students have a voice in that. We simplify it and talk about what do we need more of and less of in the class to make for the most wonderful day. So sometimes we even have them closing their eyes and visualize what that would look like. And we break it down into our senses, see, feel, hear, do. And we really break it down and say, what in this perfect class, what would we be doing?
What grade levels are you working with?
Good question. We can do
Thank you.
anywhere.
That's what I do. Yes.
Wanted to validate you.
People say, what do you do on the TV? I say, I just ask questions.
Right. You do that well. So pre-K, we've worked from pre-K up. It can even be in the high school, but we right now are concentrating on elementary.
Yeah, I would think it'd be a little tricky in high school unless there was a certain teacher that really is begging for some observation and say, I really had this one particular group I need, because they're moving around all the time.
Yeah. And the beauty of it too is that, if we have a kindergarten teacher implementing it and the whole school is implementing it in the same year, then next year those kindergartners are going into first grade. So that first grade teacher has to do a lot less work.
Right.
And as it goes,
that's the other thing. You put your money in the early years, and you don't have to pay for it later.
That's right.
And people they get that. They say, "Oh no, we'll wait till they get to high school, then we'll figure it out."
Right. Right.
So I'm a behavioralist by nature, and that's how I always worked in education. So this sounds very much like a behavioral kind of system that you've worked into systemically, pieces that you can incorporate. Am I on the right track?
Yes, and I think it's also important to point out that it's not behavior management, it's prevention. So it's setting that foundation of expectation ahead of time. I always like to use the analogy that they use in one of the trainings we do, which is, if I said, you and I are going to lunch and you drive, and we're driving down the road and you take a left and I say, that's not right. So you course correct and you turn and you go the other way and I say, that's not right either. I mean, how long would it take you before you said, Tracy, can you just tell me ahead of time where we're going, right? And so that's PACS. It's being clear with the expectation ahead of time, setting up children to succeed. And then we also richly reinforce those pro-social behaviors when we see it happening. And I also love when they talk about water the flowers and not the weeds. It's not that we don't pay attention to when there's weeds happening, which is, off-task, distractible behavior, but we richly reinforce when we see the positive. So if I can look at a student and they're exhibiting a behavior that I want more of, I'm going to pay attention to that. And then the other students around learn, oh, I get more attention for those good things that are happening than
We
the
call that
negative.
extinguishing the bad behavior
That's
in
right.
my world.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You know, it's you're reinforcing what you really want, and then they don't
Right.
need to do the other stuff to get the attention that isn't working very well for them. I want to go back to this co-regulation. It sounds really interesting to me because I'm thinking about the whole bullying scenario that we all worked on for millions of years and still are working on, in the sense that if you have co-regulation, now you don't have that third person on the outside watching the whole event of bullying taking place. It seems to me. Stop me anytime if I'm right or wrong, but it would seem like if you have a class of, I don't know, 18 to 20 kids and you co-regulate, you're going to have enough people strong enough in that group to say, knock it off.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. It empowers kids to not only notice when bullying behavior is happening, but they've practiced so much positivity in that environment that they aren't even willing to put up with that. And most of the time, it's not going to happen in a PAX classroom.
Okay.
Because of
Jeff
that.
just brought this slide up, so let's have a look and speak to it. So early benefits.
Yeah, there's tons of benefits, but this list kind of encompasses what we're talking about. So what this is saying is that a PAX classroom typically reports, after using these strategies for a year, 60 to 90 additional minutes of instruction time.
Per day, per week, per what?
Per day.
Per day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's significant.
And well, if you think about it, and we've talked to a lot of teachers, and they spend about that much time redirecting behavior, right? And so PAX takes the responsibility off of the teacher and puts that onto the students, and they have buy-in because they've helped create those guidelines in the classroom.
All right, so where do parents come into all this?
Great question.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm 3 for 3.
I get excited about good questions. We have a different strategy for the community, and it's called PAX Community Tools. So it's a workshop that myself and Katie are trained to run. It is a 3-hour workshop, and we basically can have parents, caregivers, anybody that interacts with children outside of a traditional classroom. We do this workshop and talk to them about the different strategies similar to the ones in the classroom that they can use in their own home.
Yeah.
And so when we're partnering with a school, we often will hold PAX Tools workshops for their support staff that didn't have the other training, or parents of the students in the school.
You know, as a teacher, I was a special ed teacher, and I know, not making this up, but I'll give you just a goofy example of, you're working with this kid all day and you're building them up, and then you have the parent conference, you say, your kid's doing really well. It's just, well, I'm glad you're doing well here, because at home I got to take them out back and smack them around a little bit. Oh my God,
Yeah.
no wonder the kid's having issues,
Right.
So it sounds to me like you're training parents, and family members how to regulate the
Right.
same things.
And as a parent myself, it's important, to not only know what is being done in the classroom, but then being able to find a way to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so Paxis figured that out.
Okay. Jeff, let's bring that slide back up again, please, because we were just working our way down it. So 60 to 90 minutes of extra time of instruction, that's considerable. What else we got here?
75% reduction in disruptive or disturbing behavior from our students. So that's huge.
A lot of attention-getting behavior, huh?
Yep.
What else?
60% decrease in discipline referrals. So
Oh, the principal likes that, I bet.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. And the teacher likes that too. They don't like
Keep
to
them in the
have to
classroom.
refer.
Yeah.
Right. You can't take the student out of the herd and expect them to be able to know how to function within the herd.
Right.
So, and then 20 to 30% decrease in special ed referrals. We can talk a lot about that, but that's a significant percentage. And then we see increases in math and reading scores.
Well, yeah, instead of messing around, you're focused on teaching and learning, right?
Right. It's
Okay.
it's a learning environment.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Let's bring up the next slide, Jeff. Those are significant numbers. I'm
Yeah.
impressed. Ooh, this is tiny. You go ahead and read to it.
Yeah, so this is tiny, and we can share out. You can go to our website too and get this information. But there are a lot of long-term, we look at the short-term because that's what sells it for the teachers. But we are packing their suitcases for life. And so there's a lot of long-term benefits. And PACS has this for 2,500 children receiving PACS for just a year. There's fewer, again, referrals for special ed. There's high school graduation rates increase.
Sure, and over long term, you would see that. It's not going to happen tomorrow, right?
Right.
Exactly, and that's why I say this is like packing their suitcase for life. There's even substance use decreases. I think it does talk about suicide rates, attempts in young men and young women decrease. So it's not just about in the classroom this year. It's, again, the outcomes for children, expand in their lifetime.
Okay, all right. So this is a long-term investment in kids.
Yes.
In families. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, next one, Jeff. Interesting. Okay, we saw this one already.
Yep.
So let's go ahead, next one. Thank you. Okay, so how's this all work?
So I just put this one in here because I think it's important, as I said earlier, that a lot of times the barrier in schools jumping onto this is the cost. And so, there's different funding sources. I can say that Melanie Wachowski, our director, executive director, she works very hard to look for where there's funding. This year we did receive opioid settlement funding. And that is covering a lot of the schools this year in North County for PACS. We also received a grant from Chautauqua County Mental Hygiene and Tapestry that is I believe, a 10-year grant.
Ooh.
And each year, I may have that wrong, but I think so. Each year it is providing 2 schools a full year of funding for partnering and training and implementation of the strategies, as well as they also threw in there 10 grand, I think, worth of sensory materials to create a sensory room in their school.
Okay, let's leave that up, Jeff, because there's a couple things I want to talk to. BOCES Coaster, I understand. So that you're working with BOCES, they evidently have set you guys up as a service.
Yep.
And they buy your service and then they get BOCES aid through the state.
That's right.
I worked for BOCES for 29
I
years.
appreciate you knowing that.
I explained it for you. Opioid settlement funding. So this is something that somewhere the federal government, the state government, somebody
Yes.
sued pharmaceuticals, I'm assuming? Is that,
Yes,
am I on
this
the
is
right
the
track?
money that came from that. Yep.
Okay, and so who holds this money? The state?
Yes.
The state.
All right,
Yes.
and so then it was dispersed down through school districts and so forth.
Correct.
Okay, that one's a new one on me. That's really sad to see that there. I mean, I'm glad it's there, that it helps, but it's sad that we've come to the point
That's right.
where you have to have these, tobacco or opioid or alcohol or whatever
Right.
the situation is, where you have to tap sources. Okay, Jeff, next one. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
So this, I apologize, it's not really easy to see, but
you can speak to it.
this is PACS Tools. So this is the community version of PACS in the classroom. So we have PACS in the classroom and we have PACS for the community. All of these are based on the evidence that PACS Good Behavior Game provides. Some of the names in the strategies are altered to fit the community purpose. I use these in my own home. It's been a game changer for me. Creating a vision with my family, talking about what's important to us, what we want more of and less of, is, again, very similar to what they do in the classroom. So if a student is doing this at home and in the class, it's just richly reinforcing it for everybody.
Okay, let's take a break. We have a phone call. You ready?
Awesome.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Jack.
Linda!
Good morning, and good morning, ladies. It's so great for you to be on the show today and to be taking such an active interest in our youth. And so you go right into the schools.
Yes. Yep.
That's really great. And how do they respond to you?
Who's they? The kids or the teachers?
Oh, both.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure the teachers respond very well to it. I was just curious about students. I know what I was like when I was in school.
I'm sure Katie can speak to this too, because she's in the schools more often in the classrooms than I am. I support more of the admins, but certainly have been in the classrooms. Students love it. Kids, we know they want direction, they want perimeters.
Structure.
They want structure.
They work well with structure.
And when we come in, we're well received by students. They love it. They absolutely love it.
We're very well
Oh,
received.
that's great. Well, congratulations and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Lynn.
And you have a beautiful day to travel to Mayville today.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for calling in, Lynn. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There was, here it is. One of my notes here. I got so many notes here, I'm losing track of where I was. Do you measure things like through charts or in things of this nature? I did a lot of behavioral charts when I was teaching, tracking success, I used to call it.
Do you want to take this?
Sure. We do data collection on a monthly basis.
Good.
And part of what we're counting are off-task behaviors. And so none of the behaviors that we see, we don't like saying there are bad behaviors in the classroom.
Yeah.
There are just behaviors that aren't appropriate at that time. So we've come up with a word that doesn't have any negative connotation. Pax's came up with it, and the word's called spleens. And so what we count are spleens. So spleens could be...
Wait a minute, spell that.
S-P-L-E-E-M-S. It's a
It sounds
nonsense.
like something in your body that you
I know,
get rid of
right?
at some point.
Yeah,
It's not a spleen.
Yep. It's a nonsense word,
Okay.
and we count those, and we teach the kids about spleens, that we don't want a spleen. We want to turn a spleen into packs. And every month we go there, we collect the data, and that way we are able to track the success of packs in the classroom. And the data always speaks for itself. When teachers are implementing packs to fidelity, the different strategies to fidelity, you see a marked decrease in off-task behaviors. You see an increase in attention.
Who does the counting?
We do.
Oh, so you come in like spot
coaches.
check type
Yep,
thing?
yep.
Oh,
We
cool.
let the teachers know ahead of time. We come in, we spend 15 minutes in there to collect the
It's like
data.
taking the temperature almost.
Yeah, yes.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I did a lot of that. Do you have point systems or reward systems or anything like that?
So it's less about points and reward system. One of the strategies in the classroom is called a Granny's Wacky Prize. And so I actually partnered with a teacher a couple years ago, and he said, you had me at I could throw away my treasure chest.
There you go.
Because he's spending so much money on it.
Right.
So Wacky Prize is a fun brain break, active, or sit in your seat, sort of quick, no cost activity that we can do together.
Gotcha.
And it's a reinforcer for those positive
Yeah,
behaviors.
and what happens with the point systems is that you're always trying to find the next big prize.
Right.
And it's never ending and it's costly, as you say. So,
Right.
good. Yeah, and so I always used point systems, but it was always for something like that, just a fun thing, nothing cost or anything like that. We're down to a minute. I know it seems hard to believe. So, Katie, what do you want to tell people about PAX?
I want to tell PAX is something that will make their lives easier, but it's something that the kids will enjoy. The kids have fun with PAX. It makes their lives better, and it allows them to be in a place where they're safe, where they can be humans, where they can grow, and it teaches them to really make the world and the world that they live in a better place.
Okay. And over long term, this
Yes.
is a learned behaviors and turning around some negative
Yeah.
stuff, perhaps. And, okay, Tracy, you got the last 30 seconds.
I think the only thing we didn't cover is that but there's 10 strategies Once we work on them, perfect them in the classroom, then we put it into what's called the PACS Good Behavior Game. So we're pulling all of the strategies together. That's where the increased teach time comes, because the teacher gets to teach the class, the students are focused on positive behavior, and in the end, if they win the game, they get less than 3 spleens, we do a Granny's Wacky Prize together.
Cool. Okay.
And so that's kind of the whole
Is there a phone number
picture.
or anything for people to call if they want to get to know more about
Yep,
this?
it is 716-664-3608. You can also find us on our website, which is Paxis, preventionworks.us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 664-3608.
Yep.
All right. Well, ladies, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
I hope you have great success with this, because I like what you're doing, and I'm sure it's going to be great. All right, folks, check out PAX, and if your school or district are interested, give them a call and see what they can do for you. I'm Doc Hamels. We are going to sign off for now, and we'll see you again next week. Remember, mammograms. Remember, take care of each other. Get your flu shots, and the folks down south, maybe give them a hand if you can. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.